Okay, guys, so today we want to talk about understanding the Nclex process and what you need to know. Yep. Yep. Okay, I just shared my screen. I think you can see my screen right now. This is what we're going to be discussing. We're going to be talking on understanding the Nclex process. What you need to know, everything you need to know from the start of the process, the requirements, the cost involved, the time limit, so that you prepare yourself physically, psychologically, and financially. 1 minute, guys, let me reply to somebody. I think it's an emergency. Sorry about that. So that you prepare yourself psychologically, financially, and physically, because this is a long journey, a slow journey, but a sure journey. That's how I describe it with these 3 words. It is long, slow, and sure. So to start, if you're somebody who plans to go out of your home country and you want a process that goes as fast as possible, then don't think about relocating to the US as a licensed nurse. You might want to travel to the US through other means, either by visit or by study. But if you want to travel to the US through the Nclex process, where you go there as a licensed nurse to start working, because when you undergo this process, you are going with a green card. You have the opportunity to go with your family. You are going to start working. You are not going to begin life again, like, you have to search for a job, you have to do, no, you are living wherever you are under a company with a green card. What you can do is, of course, everywhere, you have to undergo orientation, you have to do driving. So during that time, I advise many people to go in for driving. You should know how to drive. We are not in the UAE or back in our home countries where driving is not a necessity. Driving in the US, UK, Western, it is a necessity. You have to drive yourself to work. So I'm just, please let me turn on my AC, I think. Okay. I'm trying to give this because, of course, this is all about what you need to understand about the process. You have to know these initials. You have to know all of this before going into the real process. So you should know what you are going in for. Now, for the time frame, it is a more or less 2 years process. Okay, it's a more or less 2 years process. But with the other candidate that we have undergone the process at any time that we submit new candidate, we learn a lot of things, we correct, and subsequent ones, the process goes faster. That is just the truth, okay? Subsequent ones, we make sure that we limit the time, we know already what to do, at what time, and so on and so forth. And we're sure we know what we're doing, we know which board to choose, we know if we are using CGMS or we are using ARES, depending on the country, because we know which country this verification body works and it goes faster compared to other countries. So with time, we get to know a lot of things, and subsequent candidate, their process is bound to go as fast as possible. And we tell you at this stage, we have to do this, at this stage is what is happening, okay? Now, before going into this again, I think I'm talking to new persons who do not know me. This is Mr. John speaking to you from Abu Dhabi. I am the CEO and founder of MGN Healthcare Consulting. We are a company that we place nurses and healthcare professionals for the moment, mostly US and UAE. Our UK process is on hold, and most of you know me, so I'm sorry. I think there are new persons here, and I did not introduce myself. So you are listening to Mr. John. You've been hearing my number. Mostly everybody, they have my number. You've been hearing, I have a team. Most of you have been in contact with my team. When you are with them, be confident, you are working with me. So today is for Nclex. Now, I was about saying that we are doing this process on your behalf. We facilitate the process for you. So we have companies that we work with, because for you to be able to travel and work in the US, you must be recruited by an approved company. There are international recruiters that are approved to recruit international nurses. You don't have the opportunity, even if you pass the Nclex, to apply directly to a hospital and get recruited. It doesn't go like that. You will not get. You must belong to a company. You've been hearing of Passport US. You'll be hearing of Shearwaters. Most of you have heard of Avant. There are so many of them. So we have some of these companies that we work with at the point where our candidates have taken the exam or where the verification evaluation report is done, they can take over from there. But I always advise you do everything by yourself until you pass the exam. And at this time, you are the one to decide which company to belong to, okay? Depending on their pay package. Especially those who are in the UAE or out of your country, you're working. That's what I say. If you want to begin this process, you should be working because it entails some cost. And if you are working, you will do the process slow, very well without feeling the financial burden. Okay, that's why I say you should be working. And if you are working, you can do it to the end without even feeling it. That is why I advise you do everything by yourself. I mean, you shoulder the expenses by yourself until you take your exam. At that point, you will have to decide which recruiter to sign with. Compared to when, if you will need a recruiter, when your evaluation is out, they will take over from you. Those recruiters, they are slow. They have so many candidates and they work at their pace, because from the time your evaluation is out, everything can go as fast as possible. I mean, for you to take your exam, if you do it by yourself, and then when you pass, the company initiate now your immigration. But if you belong to a company, if you want to, they will take you and put on the list, and you have to follow their steps. When they tell you to do this, you do this, okay? So that said, let's get to the point. Step number one, relocating to the US as an international nurse. Step number one, you must meet the requirements, okay? What are the requirements? You should be holding a certificate of at least 3 years. So those who have 2 years diploma, yes, in the US, you are classified as practical nurses, but the international recruitment process do not recruit practical nurses from overseas. They recruit practical nurses within the US. They only recruit registered nurses from overseas. And for you to be a registered nurse in the US, UK, Western world, you need at least 3 years diploma. Not the same in the UAE, where they have, look down on registered nurses. You are a registered nurse with a 3 years diploma. You are a registered nurse in the US, UK, and any Western world. 3 years diploma or bachelor degree, you are a registered nurse, okay? So, but here in the UAE, if you have 3 years diploma or you have 2 years diploma, you are a practical nurse or assistant nurse, you need to have only a degree. No, that way it's not like that. So you need to, those who have 2 years degree, certificate, sorry, you are not eligible for this process. You can check with UK. You can check with UK. B, you should have high school certificate, good. You should have at least 2 years working experience, and you should, that is why you need 3 years diploma to be licensed in your home country as a registered nurse. You should be licensed as a registered nurse, or you should be enrolled into your professional association as a registered nurse, not as an associate nurse or an assistant nurse or as a practical nurse. Okay. Then you should take IELTS exam, depending. Now, some boards in the US, all the 50 state territories and territories, they have their individual nursing boards. So when we're doing the application, we choose a nursing board that you are going in. And some of these nursing boards have some specific requirements, which others do not. So some will require that we submit IELTS results, which you need to have overall 6.5 and 7 in writing. Is it writing or speaking? Speaking, yeah. And 7, okay? You can have overall 6.5, but you have 7 in speaking. At the time of initiating the application, meanwhile, some do not require this IELTS at the time of initiating this application. So we go in for those that do not require the IELTS. You will need IELTS somewhere along the line. When that time comes, you will do IELTS. Step number 2, after meeting all the requirements, we should submit for credentials evaluation. This is to say data flow process. I want to be comparing with the case of UAE because most of us are aware with the case of UAE. So you just need to compare the two. The same thing, we are just using different words and different boards, okay? So step 2, you need to undergo credentials evaluation. Now, there are many bodies that are authorized to do this evaluation for international nurses. And you can have approval to take the exam. For example, Educational Records Evaluation Service, ERES. Some of you hear me calling ERES most of the time. This company is very good in most African countries and Southern America. The evaluation from this company goes very fast. They have been working with most African countries and Southern America for a long time. While CGF, a Commission on Graduates of Foreign Nursing Schools, they are also okay to go with some countries, but most countries, they have issues. They have issues. Verification with some countries with this body is very slow. Unfortunately, this is the only body that is authorized to evaluate your credentials for immigration purpose. Meaning to say, if you use any other body like a RES to evaluate your documents and you take the exam, and you have approval and then you take the exam, which is possible. But as far as you are out of the US, your immigration process, they need to assess your documents. So the documents that were evaluated by ERES and you take the exam, it will be difficult. Only ERES have that authorization to evaluate this document for that purpose. Meaning to say, at that point, your company will have to initiate another evaluation again, even if you have passed Nclex. Now, we have some candidates who have done evaluation with ERES and their companies are trying to apply for their immigration, and we are still watching to see how it goes, if they will not need to do credentials evaluation again, depending on the company. They know how to go about it, but it is often difficult. So I have some candidates whom we are watching. If it goes through, subsequently we'll be using arrest, because arrest evaluate very fast and simple with no complication. We will not have to waste our time going for CGFS. If the evaluation from arrest can be used for immigration purpose. I hope I'm trying to give details so that you understand. When we start your process and things are good, you don't give me, oh, Mr. John, why is it like this? Because the headache we are receiving from data flow is not easy. They're not to talk of this one. Again, this process, you don't need to put pressure. Please, you don't need to put in pressure. Let it go slowly the way it goes. Allow it goes the way it goes. Please. That is why you need to be working, so that you don't only depend on it. If you want to depend on it, you might become sick along the way. I'm not discouraging you. I've already told you about the time frame. We can even go faster than 2 years from our experience and how we are going. But you need to be working and not put your pressure on it. Okay, point number 3. Now, this evaluation takes about 3 to 5 months. For arrest, it's 2 to 3 months. For CGFS, it can go to 4 months, 5 months, depending on the country. On some countries, the rest, CGFS is very fast, like in Ghana and Nigeria. I think they are good there. Oh, but in Cameroon, they are slow. Arrest verifies in Cameroon within 2 months. You are done. And many other countries. So step 2 is the longest, the step that takes some time, because this is only for evaluation. And mind you, they evaluate your transcript and your license. No experience. They don't evaluate your experience. Experience certificate or service letter, they don't evaluate that. But we'll upload it on the website at the time of application. They evaluate high school, your transcript, not even your diploma or your degree, your transcript. So some of you who do not collect your transcript upon graduation, you need to always have your transcript with you. And some schools, I don't know how they issue transcript. A 4 years course, you see a transcript is like a 1 year course. The number of hours covered, this transcript tells you the theoretical and practical hours covered for the duration of the course. And this is what determines how far what you have studied. So the transcript needs to be in detail. But some schools, when I see transcript, oh my God. No. So that is that. And now, when we submit, we have to wait. We have materials. We have classes that we started 2 weeks ago. So this batch, after this, we are going to have a different group and you start your study. The other group is already ongoing. You cannot meet up with them. And I advise you to start the study now, even if you are not ready to start the process. You have to read. You have to read. We will talk about that later. So after the evaluation and a report is out, we move to step 3. We will now request for your criminal fingerprint card. We will request them from the US. They will send to us. We will pay your piercing view and we will direct you on how to do your fingerprints. If you are in a country, we will tell you where to do it. If you are in the UAE, we will tell you where to do it. In Dubai, we will direct you. The card will come I will show you. I have the card here. These are the card we just received for one of our candidates. I'm sure he's online and I'm opening his cards to show the public. But his details are not there, so these are the cards. I want you guys to start smelling US. Don't mind Mr. John, is very funny. Oh my God, the way this guy see this thing, that's good. Where is this knife? So when we get this card, we have another process to go through, and then we tell you where to go and do the fingerprint. Okay. In Dubai. So if you're in Abu Dhabi, you will go to Dubai. They used to do it here in Abu Dhabi at the Ministry of Interior. But when COVID came, they transferred it to Dubai. So those who are in Abu Dhabi, you have to go to Dubai. And in Dubai, it's not at Bojuman, it's not at Ministry of Interior, it's somewhere else. We will tell you where to do that. It's not where you buy the 150 dirham stamp on your document. It's not there. It's another place. We will tell you. So, who is feeling US? Don't mind, Mr. Jonas. Yeah. These are the fingerprint cards. Yes. You have to put the fingerprinting there. These are directives and so on. Okay. Now you see. Now you understand what we are saying. Let's proceed. Point number 3, that's that. We'll do all of that and we wait for authorization to test, okay? And those who we will submit your documents for the Texas Board of Nursing, you have to do what we call the jurisprudence exam. It's a small exam. You do that just to know about the Board of Nursing and some stuff. There are materials online that you will study, will direct you on what to do. And then you take the exam and then you do fingerprint, apply with the company in charge for fingerprint. When you do fingerprint, we send the cards to the US by mail, okay, DHL or FedEx. And then we wait for authorization. When authorization comes out, you saw on my status some weeks ago, I posted authorization to test for some of our candidates. So when authorization to test comes out, that is where we book for the exam and you are now ready to take your exam. Now, this exam can be taken in the Philippines, in India, in South Africa, and now in Turkey. Okay, a new board has been opened in Turkey. Turkey is not far from here. India is not far from here. Philippines is far, but it's okay. If you want to go there, you can go. You can go to South Africa. That is the only center in Africa. They opened the center, I think, in 2020. Yeah. So you get news going on, the right in Nclex, in Ghana, in Nigeria. Since before 2020, there have never been an Nclex testing center in any African country. Mind you, there are Pearson View centers, like the Pearson View Center in Lagos and Kaduna, where DOH is taking. Pearson View centers is different. Yes, they administer the Nclex exam, but they have never been authorized to administer Nclex because they administer many exams. until the authorization of the center in South Africa that came up in 2020. Okay. Now, if you have your evaluation and you want to get engaged with a company, the company will be responsible to prepare you for your Nclex. They will register you for online classes. They send materials to you. When you are ready, they will book your exam. They will pay your flight. They will pay for IELTS, and then you go and take your exam in a country that they will choose for you. So you see, that is how it is. But you can decide to do this on your own, like I said. Now, when you do all of this and you get engaged with the company, there are some reforms, okay? They refund your person view amount, I think. They refund the amount that you pay for evaluation. They refund your IELTS one attempt, first attempt. They refund your flights, okay? First flight, if you are taking the second time, it's from your pocket. Even if you get engaged with them and they pay your flight and you fail, the second flight, you are the one. If you fail IELTS first time, the second one, you are the one. They pay for once. Now, when you pass Nclex, then at this time, you take IELTS, like I said before, for this process. After that, we will get you the US recruiter, you have to do interview, we'll prepare you for interview. The interview is not the same like the UAE interview. The questions are different. We'll prepare you because the system in the US is different. So they are preparing you to understand and how to work in the US society with people from various backgrounds, the way they do things. So they are grooming you up to fit. That is why when you are reading Nclex materials, they are different. The approach is different because you are like seeing yourself there, like you studied there. So they are saying things the way they do things there. Nursing is the same, fine. But every country, there are little things, little approach, like when you'll be doing ethics and legal ethics. There are a lot of laws that you're going to learn, which are laws binding the nursing practice in the US. So when you are preparing for the Nclex, you are putting yourself to understand that law and fit yourself that you are working there. In that manner, you focus your brain, your mind in reasoning as if you are in that society. That is how it is. Now, most of you have come across a lot of Nclex materials, okay? Before now, when we prepare for you for UAE exam, we use Nclex materials because we never had these materials you guys have now. Everybody is passing first attempt here and there, which is good. We use Nclex materials. Mind you, the approach is different. The materials are different, but we never had any choice. We had to prepare hard and use them. So when you are preparing for UAE exam with these materials that we post in the group, and you want to prepare for US exam, please dump those materials. Dump them, okay? They will not help you. It's better to use Nclex materials and prepare for UAE exam. Of course, it's a higher grade than to, no, just dump them, forget about them. We have a lot of Nclex materials that we shall provide to you guys. Okay, now, that is that, the whole process explained. Then you have an offer, then the company will initiate your immigration process, visa screening, and then your green card will come out, they prepare you, they pay your flight, and then you travel to the US. That is that. That is the process. You need to understand what you are going in for. What you're going in for. Let's look at the cost. I will give you time to speak when I'm done, okay? Now, if recently we've decided to use only CGLS, we are not using RS. So point number one, I hope you see my screen, guys. I hope you guys are listening. I'll give you time to ask your questions. Please prepare your questions. Oh my God, we are 13. We started with 9. Really? Fine. Good. That is that. Point 2.1. That is when we submit your documents. We create your account. Either we are choosing, we're going to New York Board of Nursing, we're going to Texas, we're going to California, we're going to New Mexico. Anyone that we choose, depending on the requirements and how easy it is, we will submit your documents, and then we pay $450 US. Okay. Now, what you see there, like qualifying exam, qualifying exam, at one point, CGMS might decide, depending on the evaluation of your documents, that you take an exam. This exam is like a mini Nclex, okay? Preparing you. Maybe they want you to be ready to see if you are ready to go in, if you are really of that standard to go in for Nclex. But most often, they don't do this qualifying exam, because upon evaluation of your transcript, you know, most schools in Africa, our program is so thick. We do a lot of nursing. We cover a lot, but you might not know, we cover a lot. Yeah. So after evaluating the transcript, they say that you meet the standard and you're okay to go for it. And most often, you don't have to go in for this exam. Okay, but you have to go in. Some boards, they have some specific exam that you have to take. Like I said, the jurisprudence exam for the Board of Texas. And I think New York, they have some exam that you have to take, like infection control, some small courses that you have to take online. That one is fine. Okay, it's fine. Okay, after that, CGNS language report if required. Most often it's not required, so 2.2 is not there. 2.3, other courses. There are no courses. There are no courses. Point 3, now, when we do this application, we download some PDF copies. They come out with your information in the first section, and the second and third section, whatsoever the way it is for your school and your council to fill. These documents are sent to ARRES by mail, DHL or FedEx or whichever company is used in your country. So there's no cost there, because it will depend on what your school will charge you. Nursing and Midwife Council of Nigeria, they have a particular amount that they will charge the individual nurse to fill this form and send your documents to the US. At that time, you will know how much, and you have to pay that for them to do. Your school, they have a particular amount that they will charge you for them to fill this form and send your documents. At that time, you will know the amount and you have to pay. That is why I cannot fix any amount there. It depends on your country. For Cameroon, for Ghana, we have cases we've done that. There's amount you have to do that. You have to talk with your school, director of your school. You are the one who has contacts of your school, and you know who is responsible for that. I am ordered to apply and bring out the form. I will guide you, of course. For Cameroon, you have to send to Cameroon Association. There's amount that the person in the charge for them to fill this form and send. You send to your school. If you are from the University of Boya, you have to send to your school. We have a contact there. We will pay them and they will fill the form and send. If you are from Zimbabwe, send everything. So that is why point 3, there is no fixed amount there. Point number 4. Now, when we have sent this document, we will now wait until when CGFA receives your high school, your transcript, and your nursing license. That is when they start the verification. Where the delay comes in is from these institutions, like what I always tell you, the case of UAE. We will submit your data flow and you're on our neck. But because the institutions are not replying on time, only for them to fill this form and everything and send to the US, you have to follow up, you have to follow up, you have to follow up. So until CGFS receives all these documents, because they want to evaluate it at once, evaluation is different from verification. Evaluation is very simple. Data flow process is very difficult. That is why NMC Nigeria is having a problem with data flow, because they are sending forms for them to fill, to do this. Evaluation means when they receive the transcript, they only check the topics and the hours. They check the topics that are covered and the hours, theory and practical, and then they equate it to the US system and bring out your report. So that is why they have to receive from the authorities themselves. And there are stamps and some signatories that they have to see there to be sure that these documents are coming directly from these institutions. So if all of these are on the file, on the envelope, it is authentic, meaning they are coming from the right sources, and then they go ahead and do their work. So when they receive all of these documents, you have the opportunity. At that time, they will tell you, they will send an email that you can pay some amount of money for your report for urgent verification. You pay it within 7 days, your report is out. I'm telling you. Within 7 days, highest is 2 weeks, your report is out. They evaluate it and your report is out. At that point, we can now move to doing the background check and everything like I explained before. So like I'm saying this, there are countries that they actually do things very fast and this process can go, you can take Nclex within 6 to 8 months before you know. And that is why you have to start preparing. You cannot read for Nclex in 2 months. Sorry. And another thing we say is that those who have recently taken any UAE exam and you have interest in Nclex, just continue like this so that you don't need to wait. What you have read is very, very important. It will be easy for you to understand the Nclex process. This is what most Nigerians do. I have a friend, he came here, he took DOH. He was doing both processes at the same time. He came here, took DOH, and in the next 3 to 4 months, he took Nclex, some years behind before the pandemic. So if you have, it's not easy to read. Yeah. Sometimes you get discouraged, you work. It's not easy to read. So if you have the opportunity, you have read, reading is sacrificing a lot of time. And you've read, then you need to just proceed immediately and brush it. Yeah. So after that, point 3, 4, 5, 6, they go simultaneously at the same time. We are applying for fingerprint card, we are paying for this, we are doing for this. All of these, they go at the same time. This is when that comes out, and then we now wait for authorization to test. So person view, that is the amount. Now point 4, that amount is for New Mexico Board of Nursing. The other boards, they have a different cost, and we always communicate everything with you. So this list, a lot of cost is not listed here. Not to discourage you. I said, if you are working, you can do this. Others are doing it, you can too. Background check and so on. Then point 7, fingerprint card they would bring. We would try to go and do the fingerprinting. And then point 8, we have to send this back, this card back to the US. And that is that. That is that. Then point 10 is the company's processing fee. You don't pay at once. It's written there, one-time processing fee. Don't bother about the $900 US. In dirhams, it's 3,000. You pay 2,000 for us to start. When the report is out, you finish 1,000. So What you need for a start is 450 US dollars, which we will convert to dirhams, plus 2,000 dirhams, plus the amount that your schools are going to charge you, your council is going to charge you for them to send those documents. That's all. Any other amount can come after 3 or 4 months when your report is out. Okay, that is it. We've been talking for close to 50 minutes. I will unmute you guys and let you ask me your questions. Unmute yourself, please, if you have a question. There is a sign on the Zoom that you can show a hand up if you want to say something. Yes, Grace, you raised your hand is up. Go ahead. Tell us where you are joining us from and your name and your nationality, and then you write on.
Okay, my name is Grace. I'm joining from Dubai. I'm a Nigerian, but I got my license from Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, so my question is, are we supposed to use the Dubai license to apply for the Nclex, or we are to use the Ghana own? And if we are to use the Ghana own, when it comes to the criminal records, you have to place your country of residence. So if I'm using Ghana license for the Nclex and then I'm staying here in Dubai, and then my country of residence is going to be in Dubai, won't it draw an eyebrow or something, because you're supposed to be in Ghana working for you to, get the residence? So how come you are now in Dubai? You have Dubai resident, but then your licensing and PIN stated that you is coming from Ghana.
Okay, thank you. I think I got your question very well. Yes, most importantly, you are using your home country license. You have to use the Ghana license, you have to use the Nigeria license. If you are licensed under Nigeria, you have to use the Uganda license, you have to use the Cameroon license. Yes, you have to use. Now, most often in most states, in some states, they don't require the license from your resident country. Why I advise most of you to be licensed and working here is to have the experience. Remember, the experience is not required to be evaluated. The experience is required at the time of the offer. You need to be currently working for 2 years. In that case, you need to present a certificate of experience, COE. And you cannot obtain a certificate of experience here in the UAE, a legal one, if you are not licensed and working. So the license is not for the process. The license is for the UAE license is for you to be legally working here, because we need the experience. Now, during criminal background check, wherever you are, they will do background check. It has no correlation. It has no conflicting of whether your license is coming from Ghana and then you are resident in the UAE. No issue, no problem. The criminal background check is even very simple. You have a form to fill, they just check what they want to check. They are not going to send Interpol to your country or to Dubai to check you and whatsoever. No, it's very simple. So to rule out, it has no correlation, it has no conflicting whether your license is from Ghana and you are resident in the UAE. Of course, at the time of application, we will submit your resident country, UAE. Yes, of course, we will mention. But all your degree and your licensing, they should be from back home. And yes, we will mention also that you are currently working, of course, in the UAE, we will mention, but the experience will not be needed for evaluation. The experience will be needed by your employer when the time comes. Now, some state might require that you submit the UAE license because you have mentioned, they will ask that, are you authorized to work in another country? I mean, in your country of residence, yes. Then they might ask you to submit the UAE license. Now, in the case where you don't have, but I will encourage you, everybody, to be licensed and working in the UAE. In the case where you are not, we will go in for the state that do not require that. There are so many of them. They don't require that. They don't require that. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, please, you did.
Thank you. Next.
I have another question again, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, while I was working in Ghana, I met a nurse.
Yep.
That was actually working in US, and then she eventually came down to Ghana to, once she came back to her home country to work. And then in the process of our conversation, she told me that whenever I want to write the Nclex, I should go for multiple. I shouldn't go for single. So because with the multiple, it gives you as the fact that you are not even in the state like Texas, but you can still use the same license to go to other states to work. But then if I should go for single, it means that is only that particular state that I'll work. Then I will not be able to use that same license in another state. So with this Nclex thing, is it the multiple own that you are taking for us, or you are just picking the single ones?
Yes, the right word is called compact states.
Okay, compact state.
Yes, that's the right word.
Okay.
Compact state means if you are licensed under that state, you have the authorization to still work in another state. That's what she was trying to say. Okay? So, of course, no company should register a candidate under a state that is not compact state. Why? When there are so many states that are compact state, you have to give the candidate the opportunity. So yes, we go in for the compact states for you guys.
Okay.
Next
person.
Thank you. Welcome. Who is there? We have 13 persons. So you want to tell me you understood everything? You don't have a question? Because I know you guys have so many questions. You have questions to bombard me right now. Grace is still racing. Go ahead, my dear. Maybe
yes,
the questions that others were wanting to ask and you already asked and they are answered. Go ahead.
Okay, please, I'm concerning the reading material. It's actually very important because that's the should I say the most important things of them all, the reading materials. So you quite mentioned that excuse me, that we can start with the reading materials. Why we are still deciding when we are to write the Nclex. Does that mean that we have to still pay the 2,000 dirham before you can help us, before you can give the reading materials, or you can give us the reading materials while we work on starting the Nclex?
Okay, you don't need to pay the 2,000 dirham to have the written materials. That's too much. Okay. We have an online review class, which, like I said, the other batch started already. Okay, they are reviewing, we give coaching, we give direction, we give exam and so on. We have free PDF materials We have materials to recommend for you to buy. We have free materials to give you. We have textbooks to recommend for you to buy. Okay, those who are in Dubai, you can go to Abu Dhabi Mall and get the Sounders Comprehensive 8th edition is the latest. Get a new copy. When you read directly from the textbook, is good with the colors and everything, rather than reading from the laptop or from your phone. It's about 350 dirhams. Spend money for your future. Those who are in Abu Dhabi, you can get it from Gallery Mall. Gallery Mall is here, just beside me here, beside Cleveland Clinic. Go there and get a copy, about 350 dirhams. You can still buy from Amazon online. They will deliver to you. Now, in the review class, we have a rota to complete that textbook. That's a textbook of about 2,800 and something pages. We have a rota to complete it in 4 months. You have to read. You have to start ahead of time. So there is a group that's already ongoing. So in this batch, I'm going to have another group. Those who are not in that group and they're in this live video now, indicate to me later. Okay, I will add you so that I come out with your rota for you guys to start. I will post the PDF copy of the textbook, which you will have. That is the textbook we are using for now. Nclex preparation is in stages. You have to do the basics and then we'll move to the critical. So at the end of studying this textbook, we have an exam to write. If you pass, we move to the next stage. If you don't pass, you have to start back. It's a process. And you can't spend this money without passing. And I always want, even from UAE, I always want my candidate to go and pass the exam in first attempt. But you have to prepare. I cannot get into your brain to read the materials. I can only guide you and provide the materials for you to read. So you only pay when we are about to start the process. Again, when you start the review, we give the opportunity for you guys to start the review and so that you can put money together to start the process. At the end of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month, if you have not indicated that you will start the process, we'll remove you from the group. Okay? We don't keep observers. You don't stay in the group and observing. We need active people. So we'll give you the opportunity to start studying because probably you did not allocate money for that so that you can take a month to prepare money to start. At the end of that, if you have not shown interest that you will start the process, we'll remove you from the group. Let others who are serious kickstart and march on, right?
Okay. So you said there's a batch that has already started the process. So and then with this one is going to be another batch. So how often do you normally organize classes and then Zoom meeting? How often? Like, is it every two months or 2 weeks or 1 month?
It depends on those who are the number of candidates that show interest. We just had a Zoom meeting 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people have shown interest. I have to schedule for this meeting. It depends how many that come in and they show interest. But even the last meeting I recorded, just that I needed to edit it. This one I'm recording is so long. I don't want to post. It's so long. It's boring. I need to edit and cut some areas. At that time, I would not need to schedule a Zoom meeting again. I just send the video for you to watch. I could not send to you guys because last time you had a Zoom meeting for 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Okay. That's all for now.
Welcome. Next. Yes, Nana, right on. Introduce yourself, where you're joining us from, your nationality.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Ziki Nana. I am a nurse. I'm in Cameroon and I am a Cameroonian.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is my question. I got in contact with someone one time and he was trying to guide me on how I could get a job as a nurse assistant, as a nurse aide in the US. Then from there, I could follow up to do the Nclex. So with this process that you have explained, I want to inquire, getting there as a nurse aide, does it have any hiccups that it might pose to the process?
Okay. At the beginning of this live session, I mentioned that if you want to begin this process, just prepare your mind psychologically because it's a long process. If you want to go out as fast as you want, you can use other means to go out. Now, going to the US through the nurse aid process, I am not aware. I don't know because I don't know if somebody here knows. Go to the I don't know if there is any process of recruiting nurse aid to the US directly. You can go to the US either by visit, by invitation, by study, by conferences. Those are the means I know. There is the nurse aid program in the UK now, healthcare assistant that is booming now. It will run for a year. That's the one many people are into it right now. Canada has a program that they can recruit healthcare assistants from overseas, but that process is very long and complicated. You need to have somebody who accepts to give you an offer on the condition that he has looked for somebody in Canada, he doesn't have to recruit somebody from overseas. This is the system that most Filipinos and Indians use to go to Canada. For us African, I know of some families who have used this system to take in their relatives to Canada. But for the companies that are doing that, I have not seen. There's a company in Dubai that somebody went and paid 6,000 at the end. It's more than 3 years now, and they ate her money. Before she could tell me, she has already paid that money. That company submitted the documents, and every day they are telling me immigration has not approved. That's why I don't even advise people to go to that company for this process. I'm just trying to make you understand that I don't know about US when it comes to direct recruitment of somebody overseas to work as healthcare assistant. Why in the US you can do the Senate course? I've made a video when the Senate course came to the UAE. I encourage many people to go in, but now it's saturated. Why in the US you can do the Senate course? It's just 6 weeks and you start working. Try to find out from that person. I don't know. I cannot say it's a zero. Say no, because I don't have facts. Try to find out and let the person tells you how possible is that. I don't know how the person can guarantee you that something can happen like that. And you decide if it's okay to go in, you go in.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next question, guys. If we don't have questions, then I think we do understand the process. It means the explanation was on point.
Hello,
And
sir.
yes,
Hello, good evening.
right on, my dear. What's your name and where are you joining us from?
My name is Linda. I am joining from Ajman, UAE.
Okay, nationality?
I'm in Nigeria.
Yes, Linda, right on, my dear.
Please, my question is on my high school certificate. I had issues with my name. Trying to correct it has become very difficult with my school. My name is Ezrike Chiwendo Linda in my certificate. And in that high school is instead of Chiwendo, they wrote Chiwo. So I don't know if I can continue with this process.
Yes, I have a similar question during my last Zoom session. Most Nigerians are fond of changing names. It's very common. Some are actually typo errors, some are actually changing. There's what you guys have called affidavit. I don't know if I called it rightly.
Yes, I have it.
Yes,
I have.
then it's fine.
Okay.
We'll always attach that. There's nothing you can do. It's just like we call in Cameroon certificate of name change or whatsoever. You just go get a document, authenticate it, and then you always attach it with your document, and it's fine to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, my dear. Yes, two people raised their hands. Who are these two people? Nana, you have a question again, or was it the first hand raised?
It was the first hand raise.
Okay.
I have a question again.
Grace?
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Okay, sir, please, here's a case that I'm combining two certificates. Like I have diploma in nursing, and then I also have degree in nursing. So does that mean that I have to submit both transcripts from both schools? How?
Yeah, it's a very simple question. Luckily, our latest Ghanaian candidate has a similar case and everything is good to go. Yeah. We succeeded. So it's fine. Most African countries, they have this diploma program, which we do for 3 years, and then you do a bridge a top-up program to complete your degree. So some errors people make is that when they are submitting their documents for arrest or for Nclex, for CGMS, for Nclex, and for UAE, they submit these two documents. No, the highest document is the highest. What you need to do is to combine the transcript. Okay, we will combine the transcript because we need the diploma transcript and the degree transcript to complete your degree program. Because it was the diploma transcript that granted you the admission into your degree program, right?
Yes, sir.
So we will need the diploma transcript and the degree transcript. But who is going to fill that form is your school, the school where you obtained the degree.
Okay, sir.
What matters here is they should accept to use your diploma transcript to extract all this information and fill in the form, because the file has to come from their school with the address, because when I'm going to fill the form, I will mention but the school where you obtain your degree, because that is the school that is found on your degree, right? It has to correspond. But when they are filling the form, they cannot fill only the degree program, transcript of the degree program. It will not be enough to meet up the degree program, right? It is from the diploma to the degree that make up the degree program. So we will have to send to them. They will have to accept to do that. They will have to accept to do that. They cannot say, oh, this diploma is not from our school. We're not the one who gave you this training, so we're not going to use it. You cannot use only the 2 years or 1 year transcript that I completed a degree to say it's a degree program. It's not enough. Before you were admitted to do that, means they should have received your diploma transcript that gave the authorization for you to be admitted. So they have to use it. They usually use it. I'm just trying to make you understand. It's okay. I think I'm going to have the same situation. Most schools, most candidates, they do the diploma and then the degree, unless those who go directly for the degree program. Even Nigeria, they have. Most African countries, they have this program. It's fine to go.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, does that mean that the degree will be the one to submit the transcript that I gave to them, or the diploma school will be the one to submit the transcript?
You should have a copy of your transcript.
Yes, I have my copy of my transcript.
We will send to your degree school. We will send your diploma transcript and your degree transcript to your degree school. They will know how to use it. Your diploma school has nothing to do. If they want to contact your diploma school, they will contact. If they don't want, it has nothing to do. All we need is a transcript. They will do attestation, put some stamps, prepare it. They know how to do it. And then fill the form and everything, and then file everything, and send.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. If I did not see your hand and you have anything to say, just go ahead and say it.
So this IELTS is included in this process for the whole thing. That IELTS is really a difficult exam.
Are you talking to us? Who is that?
Yes, sir, it's Linda.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I say this IELTS, English test that is included.
Yes.
It's really discouraging me about the process. That IELTS has been difficult for me. More especially the reading part. I don't know. They really need that IELTS for the process.
Yeah, I know IELTS is actually a problem for many. If not of IELTS, most people would have been in the UK. But for the UK, they need overall 7.5 in IELTS is very, very important. Though it doesn't look like easy to get it. But as it is required. It's required for your immigration purpose. It's required.
And can you start writing it beforehand, or you
can start doing it if you think you need to go it 2-3 times. You can. It expires 2 years, so you can. Yeah, it's for 2 years. So.
And apart from IELTS, they don't use OETs, only IELTS.
No, it's IELTS. Okay. No, they don't use unless I will just need to find out.
I don't find out if you use OET, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome, my dear. Without questions, I would like to say thank you guys for coming online. Thank you for accepting my invitation. And thank you for believing in what MGN does. And we are always available at your service. We are here to guide and direct you in anything, any way we can. And please do refer your friends, your brothers and sisters to us, those who want to come to the UAE. It's rather unfortunate with what Nigerian nurses are facing right now with data flow. We hope the process is, the issue is resolved as soon as possible. We are always there to help in our little way. And if you are, just indicate to me after this, my number is, I will put it in the chat. Please write me so that I'll add you in the group, because we have to come out the rota for you guys to start studying. Okay, there is no time to waste. There's no time to waste. You have to study, okay? So that we see when you can start. That is my number. Indicate to me so that I can add you in the group. And without much ado, thank you guys so much, and signing out from this end. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. You can unmute yourself and greet everyone. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, guys. Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, ending the session.